Chapter 5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? Younger brother? Oh my god, did we hear that right? Natsu is Zeroth's younger brother. How is this possible? What a joke. In the great demon fight arena, fairy tale, and everyone looked at Natsu with their mouths open, unable to believe what they saw. Are you kidding? Natsu is the younger brother of that black mage. Someone muttered cautiously, with shock in their eyes. Everyone began to get anxious. Obviously, this news shocked the entire Ishgar and even the magicians of the Alvarez Empire. Shut up, Natsu is our family. Guild President Marklov stood up and roared. After hearing this, the people in the guild became much quieter. Yes, Natsu is their companion, and more importantly, family. Lucy also quietly held Natsu tightly. Natsu's hand and eyes are extremely determined. No matter who Natsu is, he is the Dragon Slayer in fairy tale. Screen continues. The Fire Dragon King's power in Natsu's right arm was gradually fading away, and he was half kneeling on the ground due to lack of physical strength, panting heavily. The harpy in the sky is very anxious. Natsu. It's okay, I'm okay, I can still hit you. Lend me your strength, Igunalu. The thick smoke slowly dissipated. Zeroth was covered in bruises, but he was not dead yet. You've really become stronger, Natsu. Zeroth was sincerely happy to see Natsu grow to this point, and didn't care at all about how Natsu attacked him before. He looked at Natsu, who was half kneeling on the ground, and said slowly, I always believed that maybe you could kill me. But it's still a little late. Compared to my own destruction, I chose the destruction of the world first. Until I meet you now, your next attack may completely wipe out this immortal person like me. It depends on your strength. The breeze blows gently. So, I want to tell you some important things while I am still alive. Natsu looked confused, wondering what Zeroth would say now. Before he could speak, Zeroth said, My name is Zeroth Dragneel. It's your brother. After the words fell, Natsu's eyes widened. A little unbelievable. About 400 years ago, our parents were burned and killed by the fire dragon's flames, and my brother Natsu also died in that disaster. Natsu replied with a trembling voice, What are you talking about? Zeroth still didn't respond to him and continued talking. I conducted research to resurrect you, and the result, successfully constructed the life of the demon in Zeroth's book named Atelius. That's you, Atrias Natsu Dragneel. End. The strongest demon of fire in Zeroth's book. Everyone outside the video looked at Natsu. Obviously the news shocked him to the core. When Natsu heard this, he got cold and trembled all over. If he is END, what about the previous battle with the Gate of Hades? The guild lost a lot in that battle. Was it all caused by him? No, this is not possible. Just when he was thinking wildly, Habi's words also pulled him into reality. Natsu, I can't believe what he says. Natsu came back to his senses, shook his head crazily, not believing what Zeroth said at all, and yelled, Am I Zeroth's dead brother or END? There is so much information that I can't hold it in. Obviously the simple-minded Natsu is a little unable to change his mind. He inserted it into his waist and then said, Igunalu said that he did not defeat END. If I were END, wouldn't it be easy for me to be crushed to death? At this time, Zeroth explained, the fact that he was not defeated was not due to the physical power gap. It was because of love that he could not be defeated. But Natsu didn't choose to believe it and retorted, END is the devil who built the gate to Hades, not me. And I'm human. The one who built the gates of Hades was Mulder Gill, who discovered this book by chance. He claims to follow END's will to lead the demons. Before he finished speaking, an ancient book with END engraved on it appeared from Zeroth's hand. If you insist on saying so, it can be regarded as the gate to Hades you built. But Natsu didn't care what he said and yelled, So I have no idea what END is. Natsu raised his right fist and rushed forward, not intending to mess around with Zeroth anymore. Next moment, a ray of light shot out from Zeroth's finger and penetrated the END book on the ground. Natsu stopped, covering his chest with both hands, as if he had been greatly hurt, and his breath was much weaker. You have always been like this, not very obedient, so I asked my friend Igunalu to look after you. Friend. Yes, at that time, Igunaru was a rare dragon that was not hostile to humans. Igunalu said that he would teach you dragon-slaying magic. Igunaru, Metallicana, and the others formulated a plan to train a dragon slayer and seal them in the body of the dragon slayer using the secret soul dragon technique to travel to the future, to defeat Akuno Nokia, but to lift this soul dragon technique, a high concentration of magic energy is needed, so a celestial spirit mage named Anna made a plan to use the solar eclipse to travel through time. Later, a celestial spirit mage named Layla opened the after the solar eclipse. You came to July 7th, 777. The day you think the dragon disappears is also the day you wake up. There are 5 people selected for this project: Natsu, Gajeel, Wendy, Roger, and Stringer. You are all children from 400 years ago. Of course you have me as your brother. I also agreed with this plan. This plan makes my hair stand on end. Is it true that Igunaru is in my body? Natsu burst into tears. The father he had been looking for so long was actually inside him. No wonder he couldn't find him. Natsu was actually raised by dragons. In the screen. But, it's not just acnologia, I want you to become stronger so that you can kill me. But 400 years is too long, and I have witnessed the end of too many eras. At this time, Natsu roared and rushed towards Zirif, with an angry right fist wrapped in the final flame. Shut up. I won't hesitate anymore. I'm here just to stop you from starting a war. Zirif calmly looked at Natsu, who was rushing towards him, and murmured, You are the devil in Zirif's book. If I die, you will die too. This is an unchangeable fact. With Natsu's anger, the scene suddenly stopped. P.S. Brothers, the cute new author is here to ask for review votes. Flowers, these are really important to me. Please, have fun reading books every day on Double 11, top up 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, November 11th to November 11th. Chapter 6. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the world of pirates, Warring States looked at the video in the sky with a solemn expression and said solemnly. Magic? Is there really magic in the world? It's so scary, this boy's magic is so strong. Kizaru cut his nails and murmured with his mouth raised. This boy is a devil, so he must be eliminated. Akainu still looks like he wants to eliminate evil people in the world, little does he know that he is still using devil fruit. Is his life just a book? Garp looked at Natsu and couldn't help but admire him. He's about the same age as Luffy, but he's so powerful that he can rival a general. And that 1 million army is a disaster for any country. Order to go down and search for the Alvarez Empire immediately. We must not let them start a war. The Warring States period immediately began preparations. Yes. The screen suddenly changed. Brown dragon scales covered Natsu's cheeks, his eyes became like dragon pupils, and golden flames penetrated his body. Back off, first generation. I just happened to be on fire. At this time, Zirif's eyes were full of cruelty, and he looked at Natsu with contempt. Snort. Dragon power. This won't work, Natsu, unless you also have the power of dragon transformation like acnologia. Otherwise, dragon scales gradually covered Natsu's body, and his eyes were filled with fighting intent. I'm not acnologia, I'm human. Even if you're not a dragon, you're not a human either. END. A huge black ball condensed on Zirif's right hand, covered with ancient runes, and its terrifying power almost overflowed. Extremely dark. Just when the two attacks met, a petite and exquisite figure penetrated between the two. Wait a moment. The figures of the two people came to an abrupt stop. Mavis. First generation. They don't know why the girl came out to stop. Please let me talk to Zirif. The girl stared at Natsu with a firm gaze, then turned around and walked towards Zirif. You are such a person. Zirif instantly grabbed Mavis's hair, his expression gloomy. Mavis said in pain, Zirif, I can save you and free you from the curse of immortality. Hearing this, Zirif trembled and looked at Mavis in disbelief. Even END can't defeat me, so what can you do? Mavis looked at the gloomy Zirif and asked, Then why are you afraid of acnologia? It's because I'm immortal that I'm afraid. I can't defeat acnologia. It is the end of mankind. Only by absorbing the goblin's heart can I obtain infinite magic power beyond gods, and can I travel to the past and return to the era when I was not cursed. After saying that, Zirif began to absorb the goblin's heart. Ah! Mabius screamed in pain that your magic is mine. Zirif laughed ferociously. This moment finally came. First generation. Natsu wanted to go over and save Mavis, but before he could take action, a bright white light shone across the entire world. As the final music plays, a pure white light shines all over the body, and pure light wings spread out behind it, like that holy fairy. Infinite magic. The power of God that transcends time. This moment is coming. Zirif's eyes look at all living beings like ants. The first generation is no longer possible. Natsu hugged Mavis' body, his whole body trembling. At this moment, his heart was filled with anger, and he was in need of dental crown. I will destroy you. When Zirif heard what Natsu said, he said disdainfully, destroy me? Now I am above acnologia. Natsu raised his right fist, golden flames wrapped around it. This was the flame of anger. Flame Dragon King's leaping fist. The angry flames were released instantly, and hundreds of kilometers behind the guild were reduced to ashes in the blink of an eye. The power is extremely terrifying. Zirif didn't dodge at all, he just took this suffocating punch firmly. After a while, a huge pit appeared in front of Natsu, and when he looked at Zirif, he had already disappeared. Good job, Natsu. Let him fight the first generation. The people in the guild were very excited when they saw Zirif disappearing. Judging from the picture, Zirif had already attacked the guild. So where did they go? Some of them may have been poisoned. In the universe, a person inside the spaceship, King Frisia, the Emperor of the universe, almost laughed out loud watching the fight. He was so weak. This little flame is good as a sideshow, Shigekuni Yanagi from the Death God world exclaimed, it's a pretty good flame. Rubber bouncing punch. Luffy excitedly learned the moves in the video. Screen continues. Just when Natsu thought it was over, patches of white light gathered together, and the guild that had been completely destroyed also recovered. It's like nothing happened. Gradually, the light in front of me converged into a human figure. It was Zirif, and there was no injury on him at all. There is no damage at all. That space has disappeared. Could it be that time has gone backwards? Uchiha Obito looked shocked. If he had this ability, could he go back to the timeline with Lin? This ability must be obtained. It seems that pain needs to be used. The work of the ending beast will be slower. In the picture, Natsu was shocked by what he saw. Before he could recover, Zirif punched Natsu through his chest, flesh and blood flew everywhere. Natsu lost consciousness in an instant and fell heavily to the ground. No! Natsu! Lucy outside the video screamed in horror. Seeing Natsu being so seriously injured, her heart almost broke. Habi also hugged Natsu tightly, trying to block the punch for him. It's okay, it's okay. I'm not doing well. Natsu smiled and patted Happy and Lucy. The scene jumps to Lucy, Gray and Happy. At this moment they have opened the END book. Is this all Natsu's information? Well, this might save Natsu. Lucy's big Kazlan eyes seem to have thought of something. If the content of the book is changed, can Natsu be saved? Lucy wasn't sure, but she had no other choice at the moment. When they changed the book, some words suddenly disappeared, and the whole book fluctuated violently. What happens? Natsu's body may have been severely damaged. Hubby heard that the whole cat panicked and kept saying, how to do. Don't worry, I remember all the previous words, I just need to write them again. Lucy took out a pen and filled in the missing words. Within the guild, Natsu, who had been seriously injured and couldn't stand up, was now burning with raging fire. The old man always told us that when we walk out of that door, we vow to come back and come back alive. Zirif trembled and seemed a little sluggish. Why could Natsu still stand up? The wound disappeared. He seemed to have thought of something. By the way, where did the END book go? It seems that someone has access to the Devil's Book, which is something beyond the reach of mortals. Just as he said, Lucy's whole body was collapsing at this moment, and hot flames were flowing through her blood vessels, but there was gray by her side, absolute 0-degree cold air emanated, and even the body that was burned by the flames felt a little cold. Let's save Natsu together. Lucy continued to modify the Devil's Book. Thank you, Lucy, hubby, Gray. Natsu seemed to feel something in his heart, and he also recalled the past scenes in his mind. Like a revolving lantern, Urza suddenly appeared in the video. Urza blocked Gray and Natsu, who were fighting, with tears in her eyes. What on earth are you doing? Urza X2, Urza stretched out her hands, took the two of them into her arms, and said painfully, that I love you deeply, from the bottom of my heart. Natsu thought of the person who said this. Those were the words of the old man, but I was fighting with Gray. Even if my mind was eroded by the demon species, it still couldn't change this fact. The screen flashed again. Lucy was naked and hugging Natsu, and Habi kept rubbing the cat's paws. I fell down while everyone was fighting to the death, only thinking about myself. When Natsu thought of this, regret and anger surged up in his heart, and he clenched his fists. Come to think of it, what are we fighting for? Everything is fighting for Fairy Tail. I have been fighting to this day to implement this belief. The original flame in Natsu's body burst out in an instant, and the scorching flame seemed to turn everything into nothingness. This is not the devil, this is not the power of the dragon, this is the flame of the guild. The fairy guild outside the video, when everyone heard this, their inner flames were ignited and their blood boiled. Fight for Fairy Tail. The shocking roar resounded throughout the great demon fight arena. No, it was the entire kingdom of Fiori, the entire Ishgar, and even the entire world of Fairy Tail. In the picture, Natsu's passionate and angry flame fists rained down on Zirif. How long are you going to hinder me? Until we take back the days when everyone laughs. I assent that the kind of world I want to create. Zirif gathered his magic power into his fist and smashed it towards Natsu's face. Natsu swallowed the fist forcefully and fought back desperately. You are doing it for yourself, and what you are doing is completely denying the world. Burn everything about me. Turn the guild's power into flames. The red flame illuminates the guild's totem, becoming more sacred and fascinating. Ha! Zirif had to face up to the monstrous flames and fight back with all his strength. Now Natsu is so strong that even absorbing the heart of a fairy frightens him. My curse, anger, and sadness turn into all the power of darkness. The Flame Dragon King's Collapse Fist. Dark Explosive Flame Array. One red and one black flame collided together, and the endless beam of light rushed into the sky. Countless people witnessed this moment. That's it, Zirif. Disappear, Natsu. But this flame collision did not last long. Zirif's black flames were gradually swallowed up. So hot. Zirif looked horrified. The flames were too terrifying. Burned, my magic, my time burned. What kind of flame is this? Is Natsu burning his soul? This flame, it turns out to be Natsu's flame. The flame of the guild. Natsu's flames instantly covered Zirif, and he punched him in the face. At this moment, Natsu surpassed everyone. He is the strongest in the world at this moment. PS 4000 Big Chapters, Recommendation Votes from Veterans, and Flowers. Chapter 7. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As Zirif fell heavily, he could no longer stand up. Outside the video, everyone in Fairy Tail let out shocking shouts. Brother Natsu, you are so strong. Romeo jumped up excitedly, his eyes filled with stars. Natsu didn't expect Mirai to be so strong. Hee, it's not that outrageous, just a little bit stronger. Natsu's nose turned up so high due to the praise, he excitedly shouted to several people, Urza, Laxus, and Gray are here to show off. But what he didn't know was that he wasn't that outrageous yet. In just 2 blows, he was knocked to the ground by Urza's loving iron fist. Lucy, what's wrong with you? Natsu looked at Lucy with a sad look on his face. Nothing. Lucy shook her head. The video didn't say whether Natsu broke the curse or not. Ah, did Lucy think of something bad? Habi covered his mouth and looked at the two of them lewdly. Habi, Lucy's face suddenly turned red. Okay, stop making trouble. I didn't expect your relationship to reach this point. Natsu, and Lucy. Urza looked at the two people in shock, obviously shocked by the scene in the picture. It was too much for simple people like her and Wendy, who were all like Steam Princess. What if they still wanted to say when did the scene appear again in the video? Mavis and Zeref, who had returned to their normal state, hugged each other tightly, not knowing what to say. At this time, Zeref looked relieved, with a tear streaming from the corner of his eye. As long as I love you from the bottom of my heart, I can kill you. Mavis looked at Zeref sadly, her petite body shaking constantly, tears as big as peas falling on the ground. This was the original plan, but in fact, I don't want you to die at all, I want to be with you all the time. Mabius' words roared from the bottom of his heart moved Zeref so much that a smile appeared on his lips, as if laughing at oneself that the more you love someone, the more they will take away their life. It turns out that this is the way to lift the immortal curse. The girl cried bitterly, hitting Zeref's chest with her fists continuously, and there was no trace of strength. I hate you most, you ruined the guild, and killed Makarov. Did I die? Makarov didn't look surprised. The children in the guild were so seriously injured, it was impossible for him to be away, and he was the only one who died. There is not much surprise about this result. Go to hell, I don't love you at all, the girl roared angrily, but the light that appeared around her was completely opposite to her words. So, let's go, Zeref. Zeref's emotions fluctuated violently after hearing these words, and he shouted, No, you have to live. But Mavis had no intention of living alone. The two immortals finally came to the end. Death was originally an ending that many people feared, but in their eyes, it was a complete relief. Mavis stroked Zeref's cheek and said softly, Do you really think so, Zeref? Looking at the girl's firm gaze, Zeref stopped trying to persuade her and took the girl into his arms. The light from the sky enveloped the two of them. So warm. Of course, this is fairy tale. I still want to reconcile with Natsu. If there is another life. Boom. As the light dissipated, they also disappeared. In the distance of the guild, Lakusis held Makarov who was sleeping peacefully. Is the battle over? I had a dream. Everyone in the guild couldn't believe what they heard. They all turned to look at Makarov, with tears in their eyes. President. Come to life. Lakusis couldn't hold it any longer, tears burst out instantly, and his nose ran down. Old man. Juvia, Mira-Jane, Kana, Gajil, Faloo, Lily and others all shed tears of excitement. Makarov half opened his eyes and murmured, that I seem to have had a strange dream, with gentle life force flowing in my body, above a garden, wrapped in gentle white light and light music. Barefoot girl and dark boy having fun together. The president is not dead, woo woo woo. When everyone in Fairy Tail saw Makarov's death in the video, they felt the same way and shed tears in pain, but they were all excited to see him come back to life. It was the first generation and Zeref who resurrected me. Makarov whispered heavily. The scene turned to Lucy and others. Due to Zeref's disappearance, the END book turned into light spots and gradually dissipated. Happy hugged Lucy tightly and closed his eyes. Don't worry, I've already written down our memories. Tada, as a burst of footsteps came, everyone in the video and outside the video became nervous. Yo. Natsu dragged his exhausted body and said hello to Lucy and the others. Natsu X3. Habi jumped forward excitedly, tears of joy kept flowing out. It's over. Natsu showed a final smile. The sun was warm. Yeah, Natsu isn't dead either. That's great. It seems the curse has been lifted. Everyone outside the video was excited. It was a perfect ending. No one died, everyone survived. Warring States. What a happy ending. It seems that the boy survived. Luffy I'm on fire. Flame Pillar nice young man. One Punch Man such interesting magic. Can I learn it? Hungry Wolf it's really evil, but no one on the righteous side died. The scene still didn't end here. Natsu and Lucy were on their way back to the guild. Gray turned his head and said coldly, Natsu, why don't you take a little more rest? Natsu was stunned for a moment. They, who had always been enemies, could actually hear Gray's words of concern. Gray. The two raised their fists in tacit understanding and bumped into each other. On the way back, Habi looked at Natsu's injuries. Mr. Wright is seriously injured. Are you okay? Just ask Wendy to treat me later. Natsu didn't care at all. Saw the guild. Gray turned his head and looked at Natsu. Even though he just came out of there, he felt a little nostalgic. Natsu's tone seemed to be a little nostalgic, but no one noticed. Lucy stretched and said with a smile, "The war is finally over. I want to go back and take a good bath and continue writing the unfinished manuscript." Gray heard what Lucy wanted to do, and also thought of the scene of fighting Juvia when he was controlled. "My words, I want to apologize to Juvia." Lucy smiled softly, and then planned the next thing. "That once everything is settled, let's go on another adventure. Good idea. I want to go too." Habby rushed up to express his position. "By the way, Habby, don't you want to have something to do after the war is over?" Habby covered his mouth and looked behind him, and said mysteriously, "Yes, do you want to announce it, Natsu?" But when they looked back, that familiar figure was no longer there. The enthusiastic young man who was standing behind them disappeared as if he had never appeared. Habby didn't see Natsu, so he was in a trance for a moment, and then he shouted in terror. "Strangeness! Natsu! Where are you?" But still no one responded to it. "Hey, don't make such a joke." Gray's voice trembled. "The content of the book has obviously been changed." "Why?" "Natsu!" Lucy shouted Natsu's name desperately and collapsed on the ground. The scene ends abruptly. Chapter 8. You are listening at NaVoFull.audio. The scene in the video gradually fades away. Reveal a line of text. Do fairies have tails? After all, do fairies actually exist? So this is an eternal mystery, an eternal adventure. The picture gradually becomes much darker, until it calms down. At the same time, Lin Chen in reality is still sleeping. Ding. Congratulations to the host for gaining 500,000 emotional points, and please keep up the good work. Ding. Start improving the host's physical fitness. Lin Chen, who was sleeping, did not hear this prompt. The system was subtly changing Lin Chen's physical body, making it more powerful. I am afraid that the host will die suddenly in his sleep, so that he can have the energy to continue updating videos and shine for the audience. In the world of fairy tale, everyone watched the last scene and couldn't make a sound for a long time. Are you kidding me? Did Natsu disappear after all? What will happen in the future? I can't digest it now. Natsu. Habby hugged Natsu tightly, afraid that if he wasn't careful, he would disappear. Just like in the video, he just didn't look at Natsu, and he just disappeared. Natsu, don't always rush ahead alone. Urza pressed Natsu to her chest and said in a deep voice. So hard. Natsu felt his head hit the mountain, but then he felt Urza's slightly trembling body. Don't worry, I will be really strong in the future. Natsu smiled to comfort everyone, but no one responded with a smile at this moment. The resurrection of the president is already a miracle. How can a miracle be possible? It happened continuously, and many things have been exposed in the video, but now even if they know what will happen in the future, there is still no solution. The difference in combat power is so great that even Ishgar as a whole may not be able to withstand it, but Natsu doesn't care so much. As long as he can be with his companions now, it's enough. And Igunalu, are you inside me? Natsu yelled and patted his belly. Apparently Zeref's plan had been exposed. The remaining dragon slayers also came to their senses. It turned out that the dragon was always in their bodies. No wonder they couldn't find it. Natsu, let's become stronger. Igunalu was also able to see the video, woke up briefly, and said calmly. You are indeed inside me. Natsu immediately jumped up and bared his teeth. Even though Natsu kept comforting everyone, many people who were very close to Natsu looked reluctant. In the world of Naruto. Why? Natsu died like that. Naruto roared unwillingly. It was obviously a perfect ending, but why did he still die? Their companions were really good, and they fought for the guild all their lives, but Naruto was not envious. He also had real companions. Why hasn't Sasuke come yet? I thought, in the pirate world. Yeah, this is the truth. How can there be a perfect ending? No one dies in the war. How is it possible? Doflamingo picked up the wine glass and looked at Natsu, who disappeared without the slightest surprise. Is the boy still dead? Sengoku sighed. He was very optimistic about this boy. Aren't passion, justice, and kindness the qualities that their navy needs? Makarov in the video couldn't bear the slightest harm to his child, and Natsu had the will to fight to the death for his companions. Not family members but better than the bonds of family members, this kind of will is not even found in most of the navy, in the world of Dragon Ball. It's really a pity that I can't fight with him. Sun Wukong, who had just returned from training with Karen Sage and was preparing to participate in the martial arts competition, looked at Natsu who had disappeared and was very regretful. Looking at Natsu who had always been thinking about his companions also aroused his longing. I don't know what happened to Krillin, Bulma, Yamcha, and Grandpa came Sen-nin. In the world of tutors. I really want to be friends with him, to be able to do this in order to protect my companions. The 10th generation leader of Vongala can't wait to join the video and fight side by side with Natsu. The two have the same dream, to protect their companions from harm. Super Seminary World. A good young man, although he is weak, but his willpower is very strong. He can become a good male god in the future. His qualities are really beautiful. Kesha, the king of angels, sat on the throne and admired. Queen, this video comes from the depths of the void and cannot be traced with our technology. Genji King Heshi appeared next to Kesha. Since you can't find it, don't check it. It seems that the owner of this video has no malicious intentions. Let's just keep watching. Kesha waved her hand and looked at the black screen calmly. Among the group of angels under the throne, some people began to get restless. Kesha smiled softly when she saw this. Looks like we have a lot of angels who want to be this little guy's guardian angel. Just when many people in the world were discussing the video just now, the screen made a hissing sound. Soon the black screen became bright again. Top 10 World Saviors Number 9. Guilty Crown World, Gentle Wang Ying Full Episode. Chapter 9. You are listening at NaVoFull.audio. In the picture, a boy is gently hugging a girl. The two of them are covered in dark black crystals. The boy is constantly absorbing the dark black crystals. Guilty Crown World. Doesn't that portrait look like a set? Hanchuan Gushuan exclaimed. That's the set. School Joji gritted his teeth and said firmly. Oh my god, isn't this my classmate? Why is Sakura Manji the savior? Am I crazy or is this world crazy? Everyone in this world now knows that there is a savior named Manji in their world. Was he the one who ended the apocalypse virus, One Piece world? It looks like another tragedy. Warring States looked at the expressions of the young girl and had already come to the conclusion that they were looking towards death. Is it like last time that as a savior he is destined to disappear? Naruto world. Kakashi-sensei, are people going to die again this time? Naruto looked at the expressions of the two people on the video and couldn't bear to say. I have no idea. Kakashi shook his head. The savior was too heavy for him, and he couldn't understand the savior's mood. The screen turned and the introduction began. The island nation is plunged into chaos due to the sudden spread of the apocalypse virus. In the next 10 years, one of them, a sophomore in high school named Manji, met the girl he had always admired, Chi-Chi. The young man came to an abandoned factory as usual, but before he entered, he heard singing at the door and looked for the sound. The girl bathed in the sunset was staring blankly at the skylight hole, singing continuously in her mouth, with half of her body exposed. The boy just stared blankly, and kept getting closer. Until he kicked over the can, the girl suddenly reacted and became on guard. In panic, the girl accidentally opened the computer that the boy had been making. I'm not done yet, it's a scene from my hometown. But there was a glint in the girl's eyes, and she said calmly, it's so beautiful. The boy kept introducing himself, but the girl stretched out the braided flower rope and said words that the boy did not understand. Take it. Before the boy could react, a group of men with guns broke into the room, wounded him and took him away. The young man lay on the iron fence in a daze, watching helplessly as the girl was taken away, his eyes filled with confusion. Is this really okay for me? It was useless to escape the danger of violence, which made me feel a little relieved. The young man is constantly engaged in a psychological struggle. Attack on Titan World. If you don't stand up and fight, nothing will change. Alan looked at the cowardly Ying Manji and roared angrily. It seemed that he saw himself in him, so he was very angry. Ordinary professional world. Just like my cowardly past. Nagyunsha laughed to himself. If he hadn't been facing life and death and being plotted by his companions, he would never be like this. If he had been comfortable, he would still be unable to change his hesitant and cowardly character. Zero world. As a high school student from an island country, I understand you. 486 said with a knowing expression. If he hadn't been mentally strong, he would have collapsed after countless deaths. After all, being a high school student in an island country is a very dangerous thing. Ying Manji finally picked up the robot dog and started to follow the positioning. After arriving at the place, I saw a group of strong men ganging up. The bald gangster looked at what Ying Manji was holding and planned to snatch it away, but KG held it and did not intend to give it to him. As you can imagine, G was punched violently. When the bald man wanted to do something to him again, a light suddenly lit up around him. In the light, a handsome man with long yellow hair reaching his waist appeared in front of everyone and easily solved the gangsters. Huang Mao and the boy looked at each other, and then a man ran over and said loudly, "Yeah, those people from GHQ broke into the street." The picture shows a group of people wearing white clothes who are constantly using weapons to kill people wantonly. The endless firelight and abandoned buildings are like a purgatory on Earth. When people from all over the peaceful world see this scene, they are very glad that this situation does not happen in their own countries. There are constant gunshots and mecha battles in the screen, and wailing can be heard everywhere. Many people lost their lives in this situation. G, who had never encountered such a situation before, was completely confused and didn't know what to do. At this time, Ye yelled at G, "You must protect her this time." G seemed to have never told him his name, but when he thought of Yuchi, he immediately rushed out. Chi also walked out of the car at this time, and walked towards the robot without changing his expression. Seeing this, G, who had come over, just took a step back and stopped. The next second, he rushed forward and held Chi in his arms. The next moment, something seemed to be broken. G opened his eyes again, everything around him had changed, and his red pupils were full of shock. This is, then rays of light wrapped around his arm, gradually forming a black mark on the back of his hand. Chi let go of his hands, looked at G deeply, and said, "Please, G, use my power." G looked at Chi's glowing chest and seemed to think of another girl who had said the same words to him in the past. Collection, I must take it this time. Who? This is power, the crown of sin woven from the human heart. The next moment, G's mind kept flashing pictures from childhood to adulthood. G, who was originally affected by negative emotions such as panic, now became extremely calm, his eyes indifferent and full of majesty. The boy stretched out his glowing right hand and approached the girl's chest. The crystal quickly formed a long sword. The blue light broke through the sky, and the light dissipated. Only then did the young man realize that he was at a loss to face what was happening. But at this moment, the threatening robot was not worth mentioning in front of him. With just a slight wave of his sword, the robot turned into fire and exploded. He was originally powerless, but now he has gained extremely powerful strength. Facing the incoming cannonballs, he destroyed them with just one swing. This crisis is also temporarily lifted. Then the two of them returned to Ye and learned about the king's power and void from him. After the episode, he wanted to return to a peaceful life, but someone witnessed the activities at that time and ran around the campus using the clue of the shape of the void, guilty crown world. "Gee, you guy actually ripped out my heart." Hun Guansidi grabbed G on the side and stared at him. He even rolled his eyes in the picture. How painful this must be. "Sakura Manji, I need an explanation from you." Kane Kusama pushed up her glasses, pushed Seoul Hall Sata away, and said with a gloomy face. After all, she was rubbed in that place. At this time, the people whose hearts were ripped out by Sakura Manji all looked at her with unkind eyes. There are more people who are jealous of him for actually gaining such a powerful power. It's great to read books on May Day. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now. Event time, April 29th to May 3rd. Chapter 10. You are listening at NaVoFull.audio. One Piece World. What a magical power, you can actually use the inner strength of others. Warring States looked at this king's power in amazement. It's quite powerful, but it's a bit useless. Naruto world. In a basement. Is this using the power of human genes? It's interesting. Orochimaru looked at this ability, his eyes were filled with madness. This was technology beyond what he knew. He really wanted to go to this world. The screen then shows Sakura Manji's experiences. Yin Manji's daily life was quickly broken. The betrayal of her companions and the continuous completion of the tasks of the funeral society gradually made people question whether they should continue. In the final episode, Yuki refuses to use his power anymore and leaves his side, gradually discovering his inner feelings. The song that spreads throughout the city seems to tear apart two hearts that have missed each other. The lost Christmas will begin again. The people of the island country once again fell into the panic caused by the lost Christmas. However, the top leaders of the island country built high walls around them. In the name of isolating the virus, they actually wanted to kill them and take the genetic fragments. Black Clover World, the Roaring Emperor continued to do muscle exercises. Looking at the depressing scene, the demon in his body was ready to move. Black ripples climb up the cheeks. The top leaders of this country are too dark, right? In order to obtain those things, he actually ignored the lives of civilians. This is absolutely not allowed in Black Bull, the world of One Punch Man. The bald man looked at the army and frowned at the wanton massacre. Genos, there are no heroes in this world. Teacher, it seems like this. Genos nodded. In the face of this disaster, ordinary people can't resist at all. They can only wait and see what this savior will do. But from now on, it seems that this young man is very gentle and indecisive. Shape Moon World, on the throne, Jean Shining looked at this cowardly Sakura Manji with disdain. He was far worse than the previous Natsu. He didn't look like a savior at all. His character was too cowardly. Miscellaneous Cultivator, is this kind of person still a king? It made me laugh so hard. Living in a closed campus, Gu Sun proposed the void grading system. Ji believes that this system will create inequality among students and rejects. From the beginning to the end, he just wanted to help others and did not want to be dictatorial. But gentleness can't change everything at all. In order to protect Xiaoji, Yin Manji was hit head-on by the explosion, and her life and death were unknown. Xiaoji, who woke up, looked at Yin Manji who was covered in bruises and wounds from the bombing. His pupils widened and he crawled towards Yin Manji with difficulty, intending to use a void bandage to save him. Xiaoji looked at Yin Manji softly, and murmured in his mouth, "Ji, have you read the book The Gentle King?" Once upon a time, in an unknown place, there was a king. Gentle and kind, his smile was as bright as the sunshine in early spring, so warm and bright. Once upon a time, in an unknown place, there was a kingdom where people lived happily, because here, there is no pain and no sadness, because here, there is a gentle king. Let there be no war in the world. This is the king's wish, but people say that the king is still a child and needs to grow up. I will become gentler and kinder. With a smile on his face, Wang fell asleep. He is the king who is so gentle that he suffers. I believe that Ji will become such a gentle king. Xiaoji dragged his broken body and crawled towards Ji with difficulty, but in the end he never touched him. Ji woke up and looked at the crystallized Xiaoji, and fell into madness. He walked towards Jiqi expressionlessly and killed everything in front of him without any gentleness. At this time, Jisun was greatly shocked, and he adopted a void classification system to create a void kingdom. Ji, who had become a tyrant, was covered in sin and had no way out. The students also began to rebel. Ye, who was resurrected by Ji Dao and others, was completely different from before, and Ji's power as king was taken away. Ah! My king's power! Go ahead and kill all the students except Arisa.G, who lost the meaning of his life, began to flee with Chi-Chi, but in the end you also took Chi-Chi away. The picture tells the subsequent story of the king. Later, a powerful kingdom came. The gentle king said, I can give up this king, but I hope no one gets hurt. On this day, blood dyed the pure white city walls red. On this day, people no longer trust this failed king, turns out to be gentle and kind. It can only attract jackals. The king said that there would be no more in this world. The gentle king, O cruel king, fully armed, lead the remaining forces to rise up and resist, O cruel king, as cold as ice, squeezing the blood of the people to pay homage to the devil. The wailing is like Sanskrit singing that fills the sky. There is only sadness in this kingdom. The king eventually regained his throne. He stood on the city wall with a smile, as bright as the sunshine in early spring, so warm, so bright, but he knew that he was no longer the gentle king. Everyone is rebelling, resist this cruel king. Walking alone on the road, the devil flapped its old wings, they laughed at this, the lonely king. A gentle king is nothing more than a king. Lonely king, cruel king, I still hope that no one will be hurt. He put on pure white robes and took off the crown of sin. One faces everyone's sorrow alone. The people pierced his eyes, exiled to a deserted place. After many, many years, people gradually forgot about it. There once was a gentle king here. I assent this what the king is talking about, exactly what Yin Manji is facing. Human nature cannot withstand the test in the face of disaster. Some people are submissive when facing powerful enemies, but they fight hard when facing their own people. King ranking world. Okay, these bastards can treat the gentle king like this. The princess wished she could give them a slap in the face and let them know what the dangers of society are. Poji, don't worry, I will protect you. The princess looked at Poji beside her and said silently. Poji looked at the princess and showed a very cheerful smile. 7 Deadly Sins World. Meliodas, you must treat citizens well. The king's face turned dark as he looked at the yellow-haired boy who kept doing evil things to Elizabeth. Don't worry, I don't want to be the king just yet. Meliodas curled his lips and buried his head into the abyss. Screen continues. G took the genome and used it on himself. Using the power of the void genome, G restored his right hand and absorbed the cancer in Sati's body. Ye also announced to the world that the day of the lost Christmas, and then completely defeated the United Nations Army. Through diary records, G learned about the reasons for the missing Christmas at that time. P.S. Thanks to 7608 for the reward. Enjoy reading every day on Double 11, top up 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, November 11th to November 11th.